Gary Best, 1620 94.5 WTAW.
We visit with the mayors on Wednesday. Bobby Gutierrez here this morning from the city of Bryan. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Scott?
You're not busy or anything, are you?
Oh, my gosh. It's like, that's an understatement.
This is a big day for you.
Today is a big day. We've got all kinds of good stuff happening. You know, obviously we're going to be doing the thing here in just a second for the Founders Night for Chamber of Commerce, and then I go from here to SAC at noontime. We're doing a big, not going to say a ribbon cutting, we're going to be signing over the deeds to the property and transferring that property over to SAC, Strategic Armory Corporation, which is Armalite and Surgeon Rifles and McMillan Rifles and AWC. Really big supporter of anybody who has ever worn a uniform knows who Armalite is. They're basically the ones that turned the war around when we were, a lot of places where we fought. So big time, DOD, Department of Defense contractor, and they're right here in Bryan now. They're 70th anniversary of that company, and now they're here to be, manufacturing in Bryan.
Sure. Now, let's talk about some of the things that were important to get them here. What were the steps that were necessary to get him there?
It's one of those things because, economic development for us, and of course, that's what I love more than anything else. So it's just trying to get them, identify a good partner that we will want to have here. And they're bringing a company called Base Armalite. And if you Google or look them on Instagram, they're very, very active on Instagram. But you can see what this is. And, we talked about this. It's a training facility that they have. It's the largest training facility in South America that for law enforcement, for special forces. And we're going to be working with and how we're going to be putting this stuff together with Texas A&M, with TEEX and T's and the training facilities with our police department. We're actually we're going to be using their rifles now for our sniper team and our special forces that we have on our police department. Traded out, they shot them. They thought they were the best rifles they've ever shot before, and as far as accuracy and everything else. So it's just one of those things. But the Base Armalite is, if you think of, like I said, Topgolf for big shots, but with guns, this is going to be a training facility for anybody. If you want to learn how to shoot indoor shooting, outdoor shooting, long range shooting, then they will do active shooter type training. And right now, when they're doing this in South America, they're teaching the teachers. They had their first school shooting, and I think this was about a year ago, and they were just doing it as a service. They started training. Okay, we're going to do this, and they thought, man, we'll maybe have 10 or 20 people at this thing and see how it goes. They had the first class. They had 200 teachers signed up, ready to go. They want to be able to protect themselves and protect their kids.
So this is like a fireman's training school,
Absolutely.
Except it has to do with firearms.
Absolutely.
That'll be financial impact certainly for the city.
Well, it's heads and beds, and like I said, if you wore a uniform, you know what Armalite is, and it'll be one of those things that will be attracting people to our area to come and see, look through their stuff. This being their 70th anniversary, they have some of the original guns that they've had. They have a kind of a museum set up right now that they're starting, and it'll be one of the things that they have.
We were talking about factory tours today. I know that may end up being a factory tour that there'd probably be some people who would like to see.
Absolutely. It's a really cool place. I mean, right now they're being built in College Station. The first rifles are being built at their temporary facility when they located one of their campuses from Phoenix, Arizona to College Station now, but they'll be starting their manufacturing facility, the building construction of it here any day now.
Sure. Let's talk a little bit about, let's put our mayor hat on, just not community development, but the background on the situation. We had some pretty tough weather here. That puts strain on any system. What kind of report did you get as the mayor from how the city of Bryan came out on the other side of all this rain and wind?
I think there's no way you come out unscathed. Everybody there, it affected some people, and there's some drainage issues that we had a lot of rain, but the drainage issues weren't as bad as they were, say, 5 years ago on some of those big rains we had. Me personally, obviously the ranch and stuff we have, and we're still going through right now. We still have cows stranded on an island and having to deal with feeding them and doing the stuff that we're doing. So there's been a lot of impact, but as far as most of the stuff in the city, we drained off pretty well.
You open up city council once again for here visitors. Didn't have anybody sign up. I know this is something you're going to keep pushing forward, but I think we need to make sure people understand this is a pretty important opportunity for them to actually speak to their council.
It is it is an opportunity. It's one of the ways. Now, there's several ways, and I'm pretty accessible, whether it be through email or whether they just call in or set up a meeting or whatever. It's we all try to be accessible, every one of us that are there serving, because that's what we do. We serve the public. But the way we set this up is it comes at the end instead of the beginning, because we do have to get the business done, and we have people who have flown in to give us reports, and these things can get out of hand. So we put it at the end so we get the business done first, and then we can go through on the Here Citizens part.
We're about 3 weeks out from a couple of big events coming up at Kyle Field. One of them is the Mexico and Brazil soccer match. Then we've got George Strait right behind that. Tell me what you're foreseeing as far as impact for the city of Bryan for that.
Well, we've got stuff ready for the city of Bryan. I know from the law enforcement side, we have people who are going to be here for translators and different things like that. So we know there will be some kind of issue that we'll have to have somebody who'll be able to translate. But as far as economic impact, we obviously all the rooms, the heads and beds that are going to be here with hotels from both Bryan and College Station, downtown Bryan will be activated for programming for if and around what that is. And so we'll have that programming around there. So there'll be places for them to go, things for them to see. We don't want to miss an opportunity to be able to bring people into Bryan and show them what kind of community we are. So for that and for the George Strait programming, of course, around the Palace and downtown will be geared towards that demographic who we think is going to be here.
Sure. Anything else for us this morning?
No, I think everything right now is going good. The city is going good. We have a lot of, we just came back, like I said, from Washington, and we have a lot of stuff going on. I just signed a letter of support for Texas A&M University and the system for the peaker plant, and hopefully that stuff is going to come pretty fast. I know we have our weather, ERCOT, the way they're operating right now. In theory, this will be something that if we can get these things up and going real fast, we will never have to worry about going dark in Brazos County. And one of the things I didn't think about, and you've got to give it, to the chancellor, to the board of regents, Texas A&M, the system, and the university, thinking so far ahead on these things here too. Because when we went dark, think about the hundreds and thousands of experiments that were lost. And I didn't think about that. They were, in freezers and stuff, and all those years of research lost that had to be started all over again. So and if you look strategically at the university's system, and where they're located throughout the state of Texas, having those peaker plants in those strategic areas will keep the state of Texas stable. I mean, so it's good for Texas, good for Texans, it's good for everybody. And that's just one of the things why we're so blessed to have, Texas A&M and the system here, right here located in Bryan. I mean, people know, in Bryan College Station, they know, if they don't know where Bryan is or they don't know where College Station is, they know where Texas A&M is.
Let's do a quick layman's definition of what a peaker plant means.
A peaker plant is kind of some instant on power that you can do. It's different. There's different forms of it, but I think the ones they're working on is going to be jet engines, or gas turbine that they can, as soon as they get a load, as soon as they think something, they can turn those things on, and they only go during peak times. So when you're having those warnings, like we were talking about earlier, you have those warnings. You can turn that plant on, and it can supply energy into the grid. So at those points when we're about to lose something or maybe not have enough and having to start scale down, you'll be able to power those things up and put more energy into the grid.
Am I understanding this is part of the BTU system, if you will?
It will. BTUs, obviously we played a part with them. We've been working with partnership with BTU on with the system and with A&M on what they're going to do, and everybody around the state will be working with them as well. But what a great partnership! I mean, it's just been a really good partnership, and BTU obviously we're top notch. I mean, it's in the country. We're rated at the very, very top. We know how to do things. We do things right.
Bobby Gutierrez, he's the mayor of Bryan. Thanks for the time this morning.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
All right.
When temperatures get close to that 100-degree mark, you don't want your AC to quit.